A shift in family dynamic roles has been happening across America as more fathers are choosing to become stay-at-home parents, as we saw in this week's episode, Mr. Mom, starring Michael Keaton and Terry Garr. Traditionally, men have been expected to fulfill the role of provider for the family, whereas the woman is expected to fill the role of caregiver. But times, they are a-changin', and today nearly 1 in 5 stay-at-home parents is the father. And this is a significant increase from 11% in 1989, a few years after Mr. Mom was filmed, to 18% as of 2022. And the reason for the increase in the number of stay-at-home dads ranges from the emotional to the economic and everything in between. In fact, over the last few decades, more and more women have entered college, and in 2008, for the first time, more women earned their PhDs than men. Women's increased earning potential means that it can make sense for the husband to stay at home with the kids. You might remember a few years ago, the global pandemic sent all of us home, and some dads chose not to return to the office. And for the fathers who choose to stay at home, like their stay-at-home mom counterparts, social ties are an important component to this role. As we saw with Jack and his suburban counterparts, camaraderie is where it is. Chippendales is where it's not. In one of the funniest scenes in the movie, we see Jack and his fellow stay-at-home moms play a round of poker, but they are not betting on money. No, they are betting on the next best thing, coupons. And it's understandable why, in these trying economic times, so many consumers rely on coupons. In fact, I am one of the 62% of American shoppers who regularly uses coupons. Consumers have none other than Coca-Cola to thank for coupon mania. In 1887, Asa Candler with the Coca-Cola Corporation devised a genius method: provide handwritten coupons that essentially gave each person 1 free bottle of Coca-Cola. Now, in those days, along with a few special ingredients, a glass of Coca-Cola retailed for 5 cents or $1.87 in today's money. And the campaign worked like a charm. Between 1894 and 1913, it is estimated that 1 in 9 Americans received a free bottle of Coke, and that translates to 8.5 million drinks given away to a very thirsty public. Now the question is, in the long term, did it work? Well, as someone who has a degree in communications and who has worked as a marketing specialist, I would say this giveaway worked like a charm. I mean, come on. 130 some years later, Coca-Cola is still a leading international brand. And now, despite Coca-Cola's 130 some year success, interestingly enough, despite that initial success, it took a long time and a lot of convincing to show retailers that consumers not only wanted coupons, but that coupons were a valuable commodity. It was not until the Great Depression of the 1930s that consumers and companies realized the intrinsic value of a coupon, because in those days, even as now, people will do anything they can to save money. Now, I did say I'm part of the 62% of Americans who regularly use coupons. I'm not one of those people who does that like extreme couponing, you know, where you get like all of these coupons, and somehow, some way you end up with like 20 tubes of toothpaste and somehow you get $2 back in the whole thing. I never understood that. Props to those who make it work, but for most of us, we're just looking to save, 60 cents on a can of diced tomatoes. In the 1940s, we began seeing supermarkets, those what would become known as like the big box stores, began offering coupons to suburban shoppers in an effort to lure them away from their local grocers. Now, these steep discounts came with the assumption that, yes, when Susie Homemaker or Jack goes into the grocery store to save a couple of bucks with coupons, the store will recoup that value over and over again because maybe Jack sees something that the home needs that he doesn't have a coupon for and was not on his shopping list, therefore he wasn't intending to spend money on it, but spend he did. Today, 130 years later, the coupon remains a valuable consumer strategy to save money. One of my favorite examples, coincidentally, was in previous episode, The Other Guys, where Mr. Mom himself, Michael Keaton, played the nighttime manager at a Bed Bath & Beyond store. And Bed Bath & Beyond, if you remember, before they declared bankruptcy, distributed their iconic 20% off coupons. And I cannot tell you how many of those 20% off coupons I use. I have to say, one of my favorite coupon experiences was when I was a poor college student and a new grocery store came to town. Ahead of the grocery store's opening, they blanketed mailboxes with glorious coupons. And I'm talking amazing coupons. $1 off a bag of fresh coffee beans, $2 off of a pound of ground meat. Even though I was a vegetarian largely at the time, they had offers for 60 cents off a can of diced tomatoes, a lot of buy one, get one frees, a lot of just a really good, solid coupons. And I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but by the time I left the store with my initial grocery haul, I paid around $60. And when I looked at my receipt when I got home and I added everything up, the total that I would have paid without those coupons would have been about $120 or about $180 today. And that grocery haul stocked my fridge for quite some time. So again, I love coupons. The majority of American shoppers love coupons, and I don't see the coupon going away anytime soon. So go ahead and give the subscribe button a nice little cutout so you never miss a thing. As always, we enjoy bringing you fantastic content. Our next movie is one of my favorites, one of Jen's favorites, 1987's Adventures in Babysitting. We appreciate our listeners, our viewers, and supporters. New episodes of the Real Relationships podcast premiere every Thursday on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, we are also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and of course, YouTube. So follow us on all of our channels so you never miss a thing. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.